I spent some time recently with an Australian economist called Bing McNeill, and he's written a book basically saying that we should all invest as fast as we can in renewable resources and renewable technologies. And he says, you don't even have to believe in climate change or anything like that. There's money to be made there. He went, economists. But he said, and he did a big study of Australia and New Zealand, he said actually we were the lucky country because whereas Australia has this belief they can continue to dig things up, and that can only go so far, particularly if you've been following the rapidly plummeting price of iron ore. But he said we have water that falls plentifully from the sky and no one's going to take that away. And so it was a nice way of looking at New Zealand. So from the Faculty of Science and Engineering, with a thesis that I have been looking forward to for about an hour since the moment I read this little brochure of what the theses were, on turning animal blood into bioplastics. Oh no, sorry, no, we're not there yet. Oh, I was too excited. No. One that I was looking forward to even before that, because it came higher on the page, and it has a lot of relevance to a great deal of things I'm doing at the moment. The adaptation of New Zealand dairy farms to climate change. Will everything be cool with the cows? From the Faculty of Science and Engineering, will you please welcome Electra Kalaugher.
Yeah, cheers for that. At the agricultural field days this year, I was on the Waikato University stand trying to explain my research to passers-by, and a dairy farmer came over and he had a look at my topic and he said a bit suspiciously, "Oh, climate change, you're looking at methane emissions, are you?" And I turned around and said, "No, I'm not really into burps and farts." And he turned around and gave me this big grin and he said, "Oh, you're on our side then." And yes, I am. What does all that discussion about 1 or 2 degrees warmer actually mean when you boil it down to a particular farm? Will everything be cool with the cows, or will we all be growing grapes? The easiest way to make quantitative projections into the future is using computer models. So I've taken 6 real dairy farms from different regions of New Zealand, and I've created mini electronic versions of them in a very complicated whole farm model, which was developed by some very clever dairy NZ scientists, not by me. Then I ran them under future climate projections, which have been downscaled for the specific locations of those dairy farms by some very clever NIWA scientists, not by me. First, I mimicked the current management practices of the farms, and then I ran them with some adaptation options. But there's a lot more to dairy farming than what you can put into a biophysical model. So I decided to make life very complicated for myself, and I went and actually talked to the farmers as well. Social science. So I've already wrecked 1 pair of gumboots. My case study farmers are experienced and forward-thinking farmers who are involved in the day-to-day running of their farms. I asked them about things like their goals for the farming system, how they see them developing in future, and what they see as the major risks. Then I asked them what they thought of my modelling work and how I could improve. The modelling so far has shown that there are likely to be some negative impacts from climate change, but that many of these can be mitigated by farm management practices. I'm now running different kinds of future farming systems based on farmers' suggestions. My case study farmers have shown me that they have many strategies in place that will help them to deal with climate change. And I hope that by the end of my research, I'll have some clear suggestions on which kinds of systems will hold up best. But climate change is just one of many pressures which are helping to shape the future of New Zealand dairy farms. By bringing together the scientific knowledge that we have on dairy farms and on climate change in the context of the realities facing farmers, I hope to deepen our understanding of ways that we can support farmers to maintain the adaptive capacity that they will need to face these pressures and to develop sustainable future farming systems. Thank you.